Okay, off we go.
Mahag Saar. That makes 4 out of the 5 realms that I've visited now.
I wonder what kind of lord we're gonna find there.
It doesn't matter. If they try to get in our way, we'll take them down and that'll be that.
Raging
A
Cascade!
new performance!
Close one! Gotcha!
Look sharp! Take this! Did you
If
see
they
this
rescue,
coming?
you gotta jump for cover, okay? Let the marksman handle this! Raging Cascade! Spread! You are in tip-top shape!
As soon as I'm done here,
No more miss! How could a girl ever say no?
I'll stop its charge!
Thanks, Kisara!
This one's mine!
Spread! I'll take it from here! Let's see how you handle this! Deus Roar! I gave that one everything I had!
discourteous, aren't you?
Raging Cascade!
She's
Cover the caster!
Allow me to help you.
Here goes!
Shield that face! I'll take out the leg with my shield!
This one keeps charging us!
That's what my shield's for! Get behind me!
Got it! I'll leave it to you!
Far enough!
This one
one's
go get
mine.
him! Raging Cascade!
Tiger Blade!
There's more where that came from.
Hoo! Hoo, hoo, hoo. Hoo! Hoo, hoo, hoo. Hoo! Hoo, hoo, hoo. Hoo, hoo, hoo. Hoo! Hoo, hoo, hoo.
Look, Hoodle! One of your buddies!
Hoo!
I'll do my
Raging
best!
Cascade!
Resonate with the earth!
Piercing roar!
On your
One more! Raging Cascade! Spread!
charge like that could easily be fatal.
Just as well, I'm here to stop it.
Air pressure!
Hit! Go get him! Close one! Gotcha! Raging Cascade! Spread! Raging Cascade! Spread! Raging Cascade! Spread!
I'm ready!
We're still standing. Barely. A fish! You saw it!
I didn't realize there was a pond here.
Yeah, this is Taka Pond, and it happened to have saved my life once upon a time.
What do you mean?
As a kid, I survived life under the past lords by escaping here when I needed to. It's terrible to swim in, but great for catching a bite for dinner away from Renin eyes. Bear in mind, our rations back then weren't enough to live off of. You had to take matters into your own hands if you wanted enough food to survive.
But how did you catch them? With your bare hands?
That might take a while. Fish are prone to swim away at the first sign of trouble. I'd put bait or a lure on a line and use it with a fishing rod. You must not be familiar with fishing if this sounds new to you. Here, let me show you how it's done. Everything looks fine with the lure. All right, let's do this. Where should I cast my line?
Hey, what do you think about that spot?
Good idea. I'll go for that one. Ha! I've got something. I reeled us in a big one.
Hopefully it tastes better than it looks.
Wouldn't it be easier to simply use astral arts to catch the fish and be done with it?
That misses the whole point of going out to fish. Ha! Time to try a different spot. All right. Anybody could reel in that.
That went pretty well.
There's a nice breeze here. Hup. Oh! I did it! But I'm not gonna quit now.
Oh, yeah!
There we go. Anybody could reel in that.
Not too shabby, friend.
Looks like I lost it. All right, once more from the top. There we go. Anybody could reel in that.
Not too shabby, friend.
All right. Anybody could reel in that.
That went pretty well.
I've got something. Good fishers always keep their cool. Yeah! Time to try a different spot. All right, once more from the top. Time to try a different spot. There we go. not bad, per se.
Maybe you could keep it as a pet.
Yeah! Reel it in. That was disappointing. All right. I'll let you go this time. Time to try a different spot. Ha! Time to try a different spot. Ha! All right. That was disappointing. All right, once more from the top. Time to try a different spot. I've got something. Gotta know when to quit. All right. Well, it's not bad, per se.
You take your fishing pretty seriously.
And that's all there is to it.
Wow. It seems like you need to have good reflexes to catch anything. I don't know if it's really for me. Kisara? I think I've seen enough.
Oh, sorry. I guess I'm just in my own little world when I go fishing.
Looks like we're going to be here for a while.
That's how fishing goes. You wait for a bite, and then the real battle begins. Miguel told me that different fish live in different regions, and you have to pick the right rod and lure for what you're hoping to catch.
But that doesn't change the fact it's a giant time sink.
Of course, each fish has its own unique flavor, too. And some of them are supposed to be extremely delicious.
When you put it like that, maybe it's worth me trying my hand at fishing after all.
You're just in it for the food.
I was hoping we'd get to fish during our travels. And it just so happens I made sure to grab my brother's old rod before I left Vicente. So, if you ever feel like fishing when we've got a little downtime, just let me know.
Good to hear. Thanks for showing us.
Okay!
I'm always amazed what healing arts can do.
Just doing my job. No need to thank me.
I think the animals back at the ranch should be all grown up by now. Hey. Is it just me, or have those two barely spoken a single word to one another?
I know, right? But after everything that happened with Miguel, is it really any wonder?
Kinda puts a damper on the whole journey though, huh? How long do you think they're gonna keep this up?
If it bothers you that much, why don't you ask them?
Why do I have to ask?
How come you walk together like that?
She really doesn't beat around the bush.
You mean Kisara and myself?
You hadn't noticed? You've been practically joined at the hip ever since we left Vicente.
I guess it's force of habit, most likely. I was always ready to protect him, should the need arise. It sort of came with the job description.
Right. From being in the Elder Menancia Guard. Although, Dohalim's pretty capable of defending himself, isn't he?
Having guards doesn't necessarily mean the one being guarded is weak. No one's perfect all the time.
Even so, it's not like they're entirely wrong, Kisara. You're no longer in my employ, after all.
I don't know. I mean, if it's what she's used to and you're both comfortable with it, then who are we to judge?
But she doesn't serve him anymore. It isn't normal for her to keep following him around like she still does.
You know, she's probably right. And a lot has changed over the last few days. I guess it wouldn't hurt to rethink our relationship in light of the new circumstances. Perhaps I'll give it some thought, after all. Does that sound all right by you?
Of course.
You might want to stop asking his permission for every little thing while you're at it.
Sorry. It's not that easy, shaking off old habits. I'll probably need a little time to get fully used to it. I've noticed that sometimes we come across enemies who fight like you, and try to dodge our attacks at the last second.
I hate those guys. I can get some hits in when they move into attack, but otherwise they slip past damn near everything else I throw at them.
If what you're seeking is a way to more reliably hit them, there is a solution.
Try to outclass them on reflexes?
I possess the ability to command Earth elemental beings to some extent. They emerge as the land itself and take root on my command. They will swiftly bind the enemies, at which point you can dispatch them.
Huh?
What he means is that he can make plants grow to hold the enemies in place. At least I think that's probably what he's saying.
I'm glad at least one of us understands him. So basically, if we find an enemy that likes to dodge, we should let Dohalim handle it.
I shall do what I can within my modest means to help.
Why are you looking at me like that?
That armor you wear is standard issue for the Menancian Guard, right?
Originally, I've added some flair to it in a lot of places.
I noticed, especially with that open back.
We guardsmen pride ourselves on never showing our back to our enemies. It's my way of making myself live up to that. Plus, it makes it that much lighter and easier to maintain.
Dohalim, do you have anything to say about this?
Every guardsman is allowed to wear their armor as they see fit.
And you, La?
Huh? Why are you asking me?
Kisara, let's talk for a bit. Maintaining your shield? It's becoming a familiar sight.
Miguel was the one who taught me how to maintain my equipment after I first joined the Guard. Now, it's just a part of my routine.
Your brother always seems to come up whenever I talk to you.
That's because we had no other relatives, so it was just the two of us growing up. He was my idol, the one I looked up to and wanted to be like. When I became a guardsman, Lagiel wasn't too pleased to see me at first. It was Miguel who really welcomed me aboard.
Lagiel? Oh, right. She was Miguel's second in the Gold Dust Cats, wasn't she?
That's right. She's always been a very critical and down-to-earth person. In other words, the complete opposite of a dreamer like me.
You're more an idealist than some pie-in-the-sky dreamer.
Even so, that's my brother's doing. He'd never let me stop seeing a brighter world. He always did what he could to keep me smiling and happy.
You must have meant a lot to him.
He wasn't just kind, either. He always worked so hard to set an example for me and everyone else around him. He was a true big brother. So much so that when he thought I was asleep, he'd slip out of the house to go training on the outskirts of town.
You seem to know a lot about it.
That's because I only pretended to be asleep and would follow after him. You know what? I'm at a good stopping point with my shield. If you've got time, how about I tell you a couple more Miguel stories?
I guess I'd better get comfortable.
I'll take watch tonight. It's okay. Before we go, do you guys have everything?
Gotta break through!
Resonate with the earth!
Stalagmite! Rising Wyvern!
On your knees.
Rising Phoenix!
Take Raging Cascade!
Rising Wyvern!
Target blade!
On your
Rising Phoenix!
Crescent moon!
Here goes!
I'll stop its charge!
Great, thanks, Kisara! Raging Cascade!
Double Demon Fang!
How do you like being pounded into shape?
Raging Cascade! Spread! Raging
Big
Cascade!
one's mine!
Double Demon!
Any injuries?
Something feels odd here. Be on your guard.
We're in for a long slog with this one.
Rising Wyvern!
Mine! Here goes! One more! Raging Cascade!
Time to shine!
I'm also good with airborne targets. Field!
Rising Phoenix!
Magic is out!
Got flyers!
I've got this! Let a marksman handle it!
All yours!
Here's over! Here's another! Raging Cascade!
That's an interesting stance.
It's part of the running style.
A style made of both
Here's
sides.
another!
Elusive deity! Where are you going? This one's mine!
Ha! Here's another! Alvin! Astral energy!
Say no more. This should make for some good weapon crafting material.
I just noticed none of you other Danans have spirit cores. Why is that?
Both of my parents were part of the resistance in Calaglia. In fact, my birth was kept a secret from the Renans.
Mine too. We always lived in hiding, so I never had a spirit core embedded in me like I was supposed to.
What about you, Alphen? You were a slave in Calaglia before all this, weren't you?
To be completely honest, I'm not sure why I don't have one. All the other Danan slaves around me did. I was the only exception. They tended to keep their distance from me to avoid attracting any attention from the soldiers, because of my mask and all. What about you, Kisara? Do you still have your spirit core?
No. I was able to find a good Renan doctor who's sympathetic to our kind, and had them remove it before I left. They did such a great job, the procedure didn't even leave a scar.
One of the benefits of coexistence, huh?
I know that once the spirit vessel was shut down, there wasn't much need for me to hurry. But still, I didn't like having that mark of servitude lingering on me any longer than I had to. It may sound a little strange to hear me say this, but I'm just me now. Not a guardsman or a slave. I'm my own woman, and this is my chance to have a new beginning.
This sure is one rugged road. You'd think they'd keep this at least a little better maintained, right?
Why spend energy fixing that which is rarely used? Repairs require time and effort, which in our world means slaves, often in great numbers. For you, it may be a simple request, but that can quickly become another's difficult burden. Nobody gains anything without someone expending effort.
And you know, somehow that someone always ends up being a Danan, while the Renans are the ones who gain.
True enough. Ideally, in a perfect world, I think it's only fair that the ones who need it should be the ones to perform the work.
However, when doing so could be dangerous like it is here, there are many who would prefer that it be others who risk their lives in their stead.
So, what you're saying is that people will just put up with the inconvenience until someone else comes along to fix it for them?
Indeed. And it is those who can no longer bear that feeling that inevitably take action. Much like the Danans in our group do so now. As strange as it may be to hear such a thing from the likes of myself.
It's true that most of the Danans in Calaglia have been resigned to just accepting things as they are. Still, we can't just blame them for...
What are you making that face for? You're not worn out already, are you?
Nah, just regretting I ever said anything in the first place.
This one will be difficult to predict.
Rising Wyvern!
This one's mine!
Rising
Here's
Phoenix!
Raging Cascade!
This
How
should do
about
it!
this?
Raging Cascade!
Airborne beast! My
Rising
best!
Wyvern!
Tiger Blade!
Flying free! What if they took this through?
Sia, can you take care of them?
No sooner said than done!
You're mine!
Here's another!
I'm ready!
A victory for the ages. All right.
There's nowhere to run from my heart. When he slows down, that's our chance.
It's like trying to keep up with a wall.
No further.
Keep still.
Megasonic thrust. Sonic thrust.
Easy ensnaring to me.
Yeah, and probably
Can't get out of bed!
Here's another.
Take
Dragon
this!
Raging Cascade.
Look sharp.
Raging
In a
Cascade.
vine?
Take this.
Raging Cascade.
Dragon
Raging Cascade.
Begin!
Double demon fang.
Take this!
Raging Cascade.
Eternal destiny. Coming through. Ha! Now. Scarlet Inferno. You're mine.
This one's mine.
Close one. You are in tip-top shape.
As soon as I'm done here, come help out.
How could a girl ever say
This
no?
one's mine.
Dragon Swarm.
Bullseye. Raging Cascade.
Illusion ring.
Look sharp.
Raging Cascade. Raging Cascade.
Finish it.
Dohalim.
Light burst forth!
Radiant Genesis.
Got some interesting moves there, Dohalim. I'm glad you're on our side.
I'm simply glad to hear that I can make myself useful to you all. Huh?
What's wrong?
We seem to have come across some rather unusual objects.
What, you mean that pile of garbage?
No mere garbage, I assure you. Still, I've never seen anything shaped like it before. I'm intrigued.
Are you curious about this stuff, Rinwell?
Yeah. I think he might have found some old Danon relics. They look like the remains of a bunch of objects that disappeared after the Renans first invaded.
And yet here I am, holding them without so much as a second thought. I imagine the sight must be unsettling to you.
Not really, just that it must be nice to be a Renan who has time to indulge in stuff like that, unlike the rest of us.
Are you interested in this stuff too, Dohalim?
Charmed may be a better turn of phrase. I simply love objects that can give me a sense of what their maker was thinking, the history that went into their creation. You see, we Renans have hardly any such objects that trace back to our distant past.
I still don't understand what you two find so intriguing about it, though.
Why not? We're talking about our own culture here.
I get that, but it's not like this stuff is any use now, does it? It's just old. Real old.
Oh, but it does. Holding it in your hands like this, one can feel and engage with the distant past in a way no history book can ever accomplish.
I'll take your word for it. Well, seeing as it's Danon history, just make sure you're careful with it. All right, Dohalim?
But of course. treasure. What a sweet-sounding ring it has.
You really think so?
I wonder if we can make new weapons with this.
Visibility along this path will remain limited for some time. Take care not to get ambushed.
I'm surprised you know the terrain here so well. Lords don't strike me as having much time for wandering in the woods.
Sometimes I would take strolls along here when I wished to be alone.
You always did have a bad habit of disappearing without telling any of us guardsmen.
This one's tough! No further!
Get behind me!
Raging Cascade! Raging is a duel of the arts!
Thank you, pesky airborne scoundrels.
Sounds like a job for yours truly!
Astro
That's my cue!
Shut him down!
Dance in the wind! Dance in the wind!
You made me angry. That was a bad idea.
Dance in the wind! Air thrust! Close one! Tiger play! Art expert
Now
coming
my
through!
clothes are ruined.
In a bind?
Switch to offense!
Pierce through!
Here
Radiant
goes!
light!
Raging Cascade!
Regenerate!
Raging Cascade!
Here I come!
I think we can get through this.
Don't let up until it's over!
Who said anything about letting off?
From beyond,
Eat
imbue
dirt!
the vanquished soul of life!
Here I go!
Resuscitation!
That did it!
Demon Fang!
Shine!
Radiant
Finish
light!
it!
Full
Sword Rain Alpha!
Regenerate!
Breathing meteor!
Time to let it rip! Pierce
Go
through!
get him!
Sword Rain Alpha!
Raging Cascade!
Blast!
Regeneration!
Dance in the wind!
Demon Fang!
Air thrust!
Now, coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
Dance in the wind!
All mine!
Air thrust!
Going in! One more!
Demon Fang!
Tiger blade!
Sword Rain Alpha!
Dance in the wind!
Blow them away!
Don't push yourself too hard.
Bad feeling about this.
Here goes mine! Raging Cascade! Raging Cascade! Red! They're surrounding us! Lightning!
Sword Rain Alpha!
Searing flame! Raging Cascade! Burning strike!
Rising
Bleed now! Here's the evil! Green Blazer!
Air pressure!
The water! Electric tidal wave! Raging cover the caster! Will this help? Take that! Healing circle! Raging Cascade! Back into the fray! Will this help? Hit! One more! Where are you going? Raging Cascade! Searing flame! Raging Cascade! I'm out! One!
Rising light!
Here goes! This isn't ideal.
No further!
Here, let me help. First aid!
Sword Lady Alpha! Blew away! Eternal devastation!
Hit! Take that! Raging Cascade!
Resonate with the earth!
Divine Wind!
Raging Cascade!
Rising Falcon! I still got a ways to go!
It's so hilly around here. I can feel my feet getting blisters.
That's mountain hiking for you. It can be pretty tough if you're not used to these sorts of trails.
I take it you're comfortable with them then?
Oh yeah. We used to run up and down these slopes all the time for our training exercises.
Damn. You weren't messing around.
Get lost!
I shall ensure you survive this. Can you take it?
Annihilation!
You're mine!
Raging Cascade!
Raining Flash!
Raging Cascade! Breath!
Rising Wind!
Reload!
Rising Phoenix!
Leave the enemy's arc to me!
Milk Blade here!
Annihilate! Prime their ready! Who wants to die? Where are you going? Raging Cascade! Raging Cascade!
Finish it! Alpha! In an instant! Impact Block! We work well together.
Raging
finely
Cascade!
timed
Give it a
waltz.
whirl! Raging Cascade! Here's the healing arc! Here goes! First aid!
So I still had room to grow.
You got company! In here!
Rising Wind!
Freeze Lancer! Raging Cascade! In here! Whoa! Annihilation! Hear me! Flame of Fury! Burning Strike! Glacial Spear! Pierce Evil! The Freeze Lancer!
Position, precision, timing. All a perfect 10.
That's it? Nothing else to add?
You take meticulous care of your fire.
Feel Flame! Let the marksman handle this! The water's blah blah blah! Let's do it! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
See you continue on in that vein.
I never
Yes,
miss!
my lady?
Something you wanted to say?
I'm ready!
This one's got your name on it!
Ashes to ashes!
With this, I can become even stronger.
Get lost! Raging Cascade! Sleep now! Not on my watch! Got you! I'm only getting started!
It's in your hands.
Raging Cascade! I'll bring you back from death to this! Raging Cascade! Cover the caster! Raging Cascade! Fred! I'll take it from here! Let's see how you handle this! Deus Roar!
I've healed myself. The enemy wields arts too.
You'll soon see about that! Raging Cascade!
Stand back. I'll trip it up.
Raging Cascade! First aid! Fred!
I'm ready!
This one's got your name on it!
Ashes to ashes. A merry
Here's the healing
distraction.
arc. There's still more to go.
Here I go!
Raging Cascade! I never miss! Fred! Raging Cascade! Fred! Here! Lightning! Downfall! Now Raging Cascade! Fred! Dance in the healing arc!
Can't get out of
Air
this.
thrust! Dance in the wind! Air thrust!
Finish it!
This one's got your name on it!
Ashes through ashes!
Dance in the wind! Air thrust! Dance in the wind! Air thrust! Lunar corruption!
Eternal devastation!
Do it!
Kisara! Commander of Heaven! Phoenix Cyclone!
Hold up! Is this as valuable as I think it is?
This might be some decent equipment.
Anything that makes battles easier is okay by me.
More dead. And in ruins here too, I see.
What were people even thinking back then? Trying to build anything around here.
Maybe they just had that much time and energy on their hands.
Coming through!
There! And a jet!
Rising
Not
water!
in your dreams!
Does it hurt?
Mega Raging Cascade! Fred! Too much to handle?
Dragon Swarm!
Searing Flame! Reload! Hit! One more! Into the shadow! Raging Cascade!
Can't get out of this!
Mega Red! Annihilation!
Tempest!
Spread! Raging Cascade! Spread!
Take it!
Lunar
Rising water!
Hit! Go
Illuminate!
get
We managed to pull through. I sure have built up a sweat with this hike.
Rest assured, we have reached the top. It's all downhill from here, quite literally.
So Mahag Sar's just up ahead then?
Indeed. If you look, across this mountain is the Lord's Keep.
I've got a really bad feeling about this.
Stay calm. I shall provide assistance.
Raging Cascade!
Hitting pile driver!
Lunar Corruption! Raging Cascade! By the power of Fred! Raging Cascade! Fred!
Sword Rain Alpha!
Go get him!
Resonate with the earth!
Raging Cascade! Freeze Lancer!
This should do it! Here I come!
Raging Cascade! Here! Fred! Raging Cascade! I'm ready! Not on my watch! I'm on a roll! Gemini all Annihilation! Raging Cascade! Downfall! Fred!
Hitting pile driver!
I never miss!
On your knees! Dazzle!
Raging Cascade! Lightning! Steel! I'm out of ammo! I'm almost off Freeze Lancer! Searing Flame! Reload! Raging Cascade!
Pressure!
Fred! Cover the top here!
Take
Here,
it!
let me help!
Dragon Form!
Hey, that... Here goes! Go! Raging Cascade! Here! Fred!
Position, precision, timing. All a perfect 10.
That's it?
You take meticulous care of your fire.
Our work is done here. Let's move.
I'm right behind you, Shion.
Whoa!
Through these lands most verdant green, my eyes alight for sights unseen. In Menancia, pure and pristine.
What is it you see exactly?
That's not for me to say.
Still thinking about how to act around Dohalim?
That obvious, huh? Except I don't think I'll be changing much after all. Don't get me wrong, I'm not going to stay his servant. However, I am going to treat him like a fellow comrade, the same way I would with you or anyone else. For as long as I can remember, I've spent my life protecting others. But isn't that what friends do too? Support and protect one another in times of need?
Which in the end pretty much means doing as you've always done, right? If that's what you're most comfortable with, I'm certainly not going to give you any grief over it.
Actually, I've been thinking about how I ought to act around you all as well.
Oh?
When I set out on this journey, it was to rid Eldaman and Sia of its enemies, and search for wisdom in the outside world. Wisdom that I could potentially put to use on my return. I'm grateful to you all for letting me tag along. But it got me thinking, what am I actually contributing by being here?
What are you talking about? You know how to hold a weapon, don't you? That's help enough.
Is it though? Sometimes I wish there was more I could be doing to pull my...
Oops, sorry about that. Jeez, I'm famished.
Now that you mention it, what do you guys normally do for food and meals when you're out and about on your travels?
What do you mean, what do we do? We find stuff to eat and eat it. So long as it's meat, I'm not fussy.
Eating what you like can be good for morale in the short term, but you need to think about your diet if you want to stay healthy.
Does that mean eating vegetables too?
Isn't that obvious?
It does, which I guess hasn't been happening up till now.
Yeah, to be honest, we could be eating better than we do.
Understood. In that case, I'll just have to make sure you're all staying healthy and eating right myself. Fortunately, I happen to know a thing or two about cooking as well.
You hear that, Law? Sounds like you'll be eating your greens after all.
What is it?
No, sorry, it's just... I was just wondering if you had any thoughts on all this.
It will do her good to have a project.
No, not Kisara. I meant you. Was there anything you wanted to add?
Me? Certainly you're not looking to me for culinary skill, I hope.
Typical Renan, leaving everything to someone else.
Rinwell, I don't think...
That said, should you need my skills on the battlefield, please rest assured I have no intention of shirking my responsibilities, regardless of who we may face.
I'm sure no one doubts that. Listen, guys, if we're traveling together, we should probably at least try to make an effort to get to know one another, don't you think?
I wouldn't get your expectations too high in that regard. Believe it or not, sometimes I'm not sure I even know myself all that well.
Something wrong? You look like you're deep in thought.
Not exactly. I was merely thinking about you two and your sense of etiquette.
Oh?
Etiquette?
Indeed. To be quite frank, I find your lack of manners to be nigh intolerable.
That's not being frank, that's being and forget it. Do we really need to talk about this now?
Yes. I find such impropriety on your parts to be deeply unsettling. It concerns me greatly.
What do you want us to do? We were slaves. We never got to learn how to be proper like you.
Yeah, what he said. Maybe you missed how we were just focused on surviving.
Perhaps, but Kisara here demonstrates that it's quite possible for a Denon to learn proper manners.
That's because I was given the opportunity to learn. Moreover, my duties as a guardsman required it. Not every realm is like Menancia, as you well know.
Yeah, I don't think it's fair to hold us to some other city standards.
Exactly. You've got to remember what it's been like for us living under the Rena elsewhere.
I will concede that you do indeed make a valid point. It would appear, for all my espousing the virtues of equality between our peoples, I was still looking down on the two of you.
You don't need to beat yourself up. I wasn't that offended by what you said, man.
Nevertheless, I shall mind my words from here on out. Having said that, I do believe you two would still benefit from learning the basics of proper society. I would be more than happy to teach you both when we camp out, if you like.
Yeah, no, I'll pass. Acting all prim and proper isn't really my style.
If you say so. How about you, Law? Would you like to learn? Although I suppose my first task is to reform your attitude toward the idea of good etiquette.
You're not gonna let this go, are you?
Hey, let's stop for a minute.
What's up? You already tired?
My armor's pretty heavy. I think I need a little rest.
I second that. All of this walking is starting to take its toll on me as well.
What? You don't look it.
We can't spare the time. There's places we need to be. Mahag Saar's capital, Niez, is our destination right now.
But if one of us collapses, it will only serve to slow us down. And in your case, Alphen is the only one who could carry you. Best to rest while you have the opportunity.
Enough already! I need a break, so we're taking one.
I don't need you fretting over me.
Fretting? Hey, it's not like I'm...
Been looking for you.
For me? Why?
He's tough.
Who are you? You said you were looking for me. Why?
Beautiful, precious life.
What the...
That is all I desire.
Then why are we fighting? Who even are you?
Raging Cascade! The close one! Gotcha! Glacier Raging Cascade! He's in the sky! I can't do
Chlorine Alpha! Stay away from my friend!
I'll bring you back from death.
Who the hell are you? Bastard!
This guy's not normal!
His speed is unbelievable.
You mean even to pass as a lord?
Devastation!
Raging Cascade!
This one's mine!
Got it! Lunar Corruption! Now's our chance! Raging Cascade! Samurai Aqua! Mortar!
Eternal devastation!
Ready! Cover the castle!
You're mine!
Healing circle!
I owe you one.
Take this. Why'd you heal me?
Raging Cascade! Lunar Corruption! By the power of
Rising
water!
Wyvern!
Entertain me.
Flame of Fury!
You're mine!
Here, let me help. First aid! Hey, Look! If it's in the sky, it's mine! This one's mine! Raging Cascade!
Rising Wyvern!
Will this help? Raging Cascade!
Feeling so great.
Raging Cascade! Raging Cascade! I'm all stopped up! Raging Cascade!
You're mine!
Let me help!
Not today!
Show me your strength.
Now, while it's reeling!
Take it down!
Chlorine
Raging
Alpha!
Cascade!
Blow away!
In a bind?
Eternal devastation!
Close one! Right back at ya! Raging Cascade! Here's evil! Spread! Freeze blade!
Sorry, here.
Couldn't make it in time. Is that all that you've got? Very well. Then die. A wretch like you? Till next time.
Shion, wake up, please!
Alphen?
Shion!
Thanks, but you're kinda crushing me.
Sorry.
It's okay. And so am I. It's not as bad as it looks.
Not bad. That's... Shion.
I'm fine.
We thought you were...
Really.
What the hell were you thinking?
Well, you were trying to protect me too, you know.
Yeah, but I have the sword. It's different.
It's not different. Besides, Never mind. It's nothing. Anyway, thank you.
But I didn't... Look, I'm just glad that you're...
Alphen?
Sorry.
That guy said he'd be back. I think maybe we should get moving before he returns, right?
Rinwell has a good point. We need to go. Shion, are you sure you're okay?
Shion, are you sure you're okay?
Yeah, I already applied some healing arts to it. It didn't even leave a scar.
But his sword went nearly straight through you.
I'm all right. Unless I've turned into some kind of ghost and I'm haunting you all right now.
No, I know you're not. It's just...
Look, I appreciate you looking out for me, but I'm fine. Really.
There was also that strange light that appeared when Shion was stabbed. It seemed to make the enemy retreat when he saw it. Alphen, do you have any idea what it might have been?
A light? I don't know. I was kind of preoccupied with other things at the time.
Now that I think of it, between that light and the blazing sword, just what sort of person are you, Alphen? Can you use Dahnan astral arts like Rinwell, perhaps?
He wouldn't know, Dohalim. He doesn't have any memories from his past, remember? Besides, we should really be getting out of here.
I suppose you're right. Forgive me. We've almost reached Nias, the capital of Mahag Saar. With any luck, we'll find a place there for Shion to rest.
Hey.
How are you holding up after that last fight? You're not too hurt, are you?
I'm fine, really. See for yourself.
If things get too tough out there, go ahead and fall back. I can take a beating if I need to.
I'm not here just to stand around and have everyone protect me.
I get that, but there's nothing wrong with admitting you have weaknesses too.
Do I look like I'm just trying to put on a brave face to you?
I can't feel pain, but you still can, can't you?
Look, I appreciate you're trying to look out for me, but even you go down in fights from time to time. Please, stop trying to babysit me. It's getting old.
It's not that. I just...
Did anybody see that? I've got a really bad feeling about this.
Raging Cascade! Fred! Raging Cascade! Raging
Freak! Why can't they just sit still?
Tia, can you take care of them?
No sooner said than done! Raging Cascade! Fred! Raging Cascade! I never miss! Raging Cascade! Raging Cascade! Glacial Spear!
In an instant! Impact block! We work well together.
Like a finely timed waltz.
Raging Cascade!
Finish it! Tia!
This one's got your name on it!
Ask to action!
So, fire and earth astral energy, huh?
A perfect combination. Retreat if you know what's good for you.
Raging Cascade, not in your dreams!
Rising Wyvern!
I'll face you.
I'm ready! Air thrust!
In a bind?
You got flyers!
I've got this! These enemies aren't me!
No place here.
Mega Red! Raging Cascade! Do it!
Kisara! All yours, Kisara! Stay calm.
Raging Cascade!
I shall provide assistance.
Art expert coming through! Not in your dreams! Raging Cascade!
Rotating pile
Feel!
Rising Wyvern!
Freeze Laser! Glacial Spear! Pierce Evil!
Rising Falcon!
Freeze Laser! Raging Cascade!
Rising Wyvern! We've
Raging
turned the
Cascade!
tables on him.
There are still more left.
Right. No time to hold back.
Go get him! Raging Cascade! Ready! Raging Cascade!
Glacial Spear.
Pierce Evil! Hit! Raging Cascade!
Rising Wyvern!
Raging Cascade!
Finish it! In an instant! Impact block! We work well together.
Like a finely timed waltz.
Rising Wyvern!
Raging Cascade!
Mirage! Dragon Swarm!
I need to be stronger.
Is it just me, or is anyone else peckish?
We finally made it.
I always loved the sound of hammers banging away.
Aw, who's a good boy? Wait, why am I petting you?
Dohalim, your spare bracers were getting dirty, so I polished them up along with the rest of your equipment.
Why, thank you, Kisara. I greatly appreciate that.
Maybe it's just my imagination, but you sure seem to fuss over Dohalim a whole lot, Kisara.
It is a little strange. Almost like you're still in his service.
Really? That's certainly not my intention. Besides, he's not the only one I'm like that with. Hey, Law? I saw your clothes were starting to get holes in them, so I stitched them back up for you.
Oh, wow. Thanks, Kisara.
Point taken. Do you just like looking after people?
I wouldn't go so far as to say I like it, but I get anxious if I don't. I'd always like to help if I can. It comes naturally to me. Back in the day, Miguel and I used to look after the younger kids a lot, so that's probably where it comes from. He taught me everything I know, and I mean everything. How to cook with wild plants, how to sew clothes so they'll last. Without him, we never would have been able to survive.
However, you're not a lord anymore, Dohalim. You need to get used to the idea that people aren't just going to wait on you hand and foot.
Yes, you're absolutely right. I'm ashamed to admit that I felt no qualms about her doing all that for me. As both a Renan and especially as a lord, one becomes too accustomed to those beneath you tending to your every need, both Renans and Dahnans alike.
Sure, that's how all you Renans are probably raised. But just to be clear, we're not your servants, Dohalim. Got that?
Absolutely. Moments such as this provide me with ample opportunity to confront my unease. It is difficult to tend with my own motivations.
What do you mean?
The truth of the matter is that my espousal of coexistence in Menancia hardly came from an idealistic place. That instinctive unease I feel deep within serves as a reminder for what it is that all of us here fight for.
Don't be so hard on yourself. No one's going to abandon you if you aren't always perfect.
Looking at her now, I think she's more like his mom than his servant.
This flavor, why, it rivals the cooking of my own chefs in the palace.
Dohalim, care if I hang out for a while?
We'd best get ready for tomorrow. Shall we get moving? Something feels odd here. Be on your guard.
I've got a really bad feeling about this. Right here! Sharpness! Here I go! It's over! Dance in the wind! Dance in the wind!
Blind freak! Why can't they just sit still?
Fia, can you take care of them?
No sooner said than done! Glacial Spear! Raging Cascade! Freeze-Land! Raging Cascade! Raging Cascade! Into the shadow!
Can you take it?
Mega Ray! I'm all stuffed up! Ready! Raging Cascade!
Shine! Radiant light! Force of regeneration!
I'm all
Is that a healing art?
It is. I can't ignore your pain.
I'll try to be more careful.
Negative gate! On your
Radiant Pierce! Hit! One last one! Get me to it! Dohalim!
light burst forth!
Radiant Genesis!
You're quite the gunslinger.
I have to be, in this world.
Don't worry. I've got your back.